And so when we see success from somebody, I guess our natural tendency is to want to mimic what they do to achieve that level of success. And for some, not all, but for some, that model revolves around don't sleep, work hard, work extra long. Well, work hard is, you can work hard without omitting a lot of sleep, but that's a different conversation. But you're taught to, not sleep and, don't rest and all of that. But the reality is, in the grand scheme of things, in the big picture, what is that doing to our health? What is that doing to our relationships? But then when we think about the next generation, because this is Black Fathers Now, what are we now setting as the playbook for those that are looking up to us?
What's happening, y'all? This is Mike D with Black Fathers Now, where we're bringing the village to the brothers. Every couple of weeks, you can look forward to a quick inspirational message or a thought-provoking guest with knowledge and wisdom, all geared towards helping you be the best father that you can be. We're bringing the village to you. Now it's your turn to do something with what you learned. All right, y'all. Let's go.
What's going on, fellas? This is Coach Mike D, Mr. Double Down on you with another episode of Black Fathers Now. Hope y'all are having an amazing day, an amazing week, an amazing month, an amazing year. Honestly, when you look back on it, I hope you are having an amazing life. All right. And today's quick episode, I'm going to talk about two things, but it's really the same thing to an extent. That is sleep and rest. Sleep and rest. It's interesting. We typically hear the statements, I'll sleep when I die. Or, sleep is not what you need to do. You need to be about it. Man, you need to go balls to the wall, make things happen. Sleep is overrated, and I'll sleep when I'm dead, and all of that stuff. We typically hear these statements, right? And a lot of times they come from very high performing or high achieving individuals. So because of their success or because of their worldly success or their impact, we are looking for the quote unquote keys to success. We take their advice and we run with it. So then you have individuals who live a life of, I'll sleep when I'm dead. It's an interesting perspective, right? Because again, we're always looking for a shortcut. We're looking for a hack. How can I get to a specific goal, and how can I do so most efficiently, most effectively? And if I see somebody who's living a life that I aspire to live, I look at what they're doing and I say, you know what, let me copy and paste that. And it's an interesting perspective, right? Because that's just how we operate. Even physiologically, we have mirror neurons in our body. And so it's like a study where you can look and see how if you're around somebody for a long period of time, or you spend a lot of time with individuals, you can look and you can do different movements and you can pay attention and you can see those individuals repeating the movements that you do, right? Just because of proximity. And so when we see success from somebody, I guess our natural tendency is to want to mimic what they do to achieve that level of success. And for some, not all, but for some, that model revolves around don't sleep, work hard, work extra long. Well, work hard is, you can work hard without omitting a lot of sleep, but that's a different conversation. But you're taught to, not sleep and, don't rest and all of that. But the reality is, in the grand scheme of things, in the big picture, what is that doing to our health? What is that doing to our relationships? But then when we think about the next generation, because this is Black Fathers Now, what are we now setting as the playbook for those that are looking up to us? We have to think about that. But then let's jump back into the whole concept of rest and sleep. It's interesting when you think about repair or procedures that need to be done. And what ends up happening with procedures and what ends up happening with repairs that need to be done, usually those repairs and those procedures take place when whatever's getting worked on is at rest or at sleep or sleeping. Think about that. So let's take a car, right? If your car if you need to get an oil change. Now, granted, you might have NASCAR or some car. I'm not a NASCAR fan, so I don't know all the specifics, but maybe with some car racing situation, maybe they can change the oil while the car is actively driving. But in most instances, when you get an oil change, you have to pull in somewhere and stop so you can get that oil change. Your car has to be at rest. If you have to get work done on your transmission, your alternator, you have to get your tires changed. Your car has to be at rest for those things to be worked on, for those things to be repaired. Think about your body, right? If you're getting dental work done, right, you have to be at rest. Sometimes they need to put you to sleep, but then other times you would simply need to be sitting in one place for that dental work to get done. If surgery needs to be performed, if you need to repair an injury or whatever, you're not actively playing a game while the doctor is fixing your ACL or fixing your knee or fixing a broken bone. Or if you need some type of surgery, heart surgery or surgery on your intestines or whatever, those procedures don't take place when you're actively moving. Your body has to be at rest to repair. And it's interesting when you start looking at that, but then you also think about how your body works. And, when you go to the gym and you exercise, what you're doing when you're exercising at the gym is you're breaking down muscle fibers. But your muscles actually grow when you're at rest. Interesting. Your body heals itself and repairs when it's at rest. So you need movement to build and to break things down. You need movement to get yourself circulated and doing all the things that you need to do from the standpoint of how you operate physiologically, but you also need rest. We need sleep. We need good sleep. We think about cognitive function. If you think about it like this, sleep deprivation is a tactic used in war. Sleep deprivation. Like if they want to get information out of a hostage or whatever, sleep deprivation is a tactic that's used. Think about that. But we purposefully deprive ourselves of sleep at times. And what is that doing to us? Especially if we're doing it continuously. Now, again, I get it. You have a project that's due, or I get it. There's one specific thing, or I get it. There's an emergency that you have to handle, or you have to drive somewhere, this one specific time. I get it. There are times in which we have to do what we have to do in the moment. But when it comes down to a specific practice of sleep I forget sleep. When it becomes that, or rest, I'll rest when I'm dead. If we start adopting that mindset, we're creating, habits that aren't sustainable and healthy, one. But then on the flip side, we're also creating a model that if you are successful, will serve as a playbook for those following you. And if we look at a lot of the health issues that we're facing, if you go back to it, and this is interesting, when you listen to a lot of different health and wellness podcasts, you will hear the conversation, or you will hear statements that sleep is more important than your eating habits and your exercise habits combined. Because now a lot of times they're all, connected and impact or influence each other. But the reality is, without good sleep habits or without, effective rest, your body can't do what it's supposed to do, even if you eat well and even if you exercise. Think about that. It impacts your cognitive function. It impacts your emotional health. It impacts your physical health. It impacts so many different things. Sleep and rest are so important. So I said all of that to say, fellas and ladies listening too, let's find ways to optimize and prioritize rest. Meaning just rest your mind. Like sometimes for someone like myself who is a creative, who's interviewing folks, who's coaching folks, who's doing podcasts and interviewing on other platforms and creating projects and courses and books and all of this kind of stuff, it's like I'm always in consumption mode of content. I'm always taking in and processing. I have to periodically allow my mind to rest. I have to periodically sit down and just watch something that's mindless so that I can relax my mind. And there are people out there that need that. If you have an occupation, a business, or a job in which you're, counseling people through heavy issues, you periodically need a rest. You need to take your mind off of that. So you need to find things that you can do that don't require you to optimize your brain power in that particular moment. So therefore you need rest, but you also need sleep. And we have to find ways to do so because everybody's life is different. Everybody's lifestyle is different. Everybody's occupation is different. Their family structures are different. What's required of them is different. I get it. And so you have to personalize this to you. But however you personalize it and however you structure it, make sure rest and good sleep are in the mix. If not, it's going to impact you later on. And one of the catalysts for this was, I have a sleep study coming up. So I snore. I snore pretty loudly, but I sleep pretty good. It impacts my wife though. She's a light sleeper, so yeah, that's a challenge. But I had my appointment with my sleep medicine or my sleep specialist yesterday. So we have my sleep study coming up in a couple of weeks, and maybe in another episode I'll give an update on the results of my sleep study, just to kind of get an understanding of how I feel like I'm sleeping well, but am I really sleeping well? And we'll see this after the sleep study. But I said all that to say, maybe, brothers, you need to look at getting a sleep study. Sleep apnea is big. There are a lot of individuals who aren't getting effective rest because they have sleep apnea, and maybe they need, some type of assistance in getting good sleep, not just falling asleep, but getting good restorative sleep. But anyway, we can talk about that at another time. But today I just wanted to kind of plant the seed of the importance of rest and the importance of sleep. And y'all hear somebody doing yard work down the street. It always tends to happen when I start having these conversations outside. It's like, I guess everybody realizes it's a good time to be outside and do stuff. So if you hear a weed eater in the background, yeah, that's one of the neighbors. But anyway, as always, y'all follow Black Fathers Now everywhere. Share this episode out and take action. Prioritize rest and prioritize sleep. You're not going to be a punk for saying, I got to go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, hey, until next time, y'all be blessed, well, and wise, and I'll holler at you. Peace.
Yo, fellas, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And always visit blackfathersnow.com, as well as follow Black Fathers Now on virtually every social media platform you can think of. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. Just follow us and engage with us, man. Look forward to hearing from you. And I guess until next time, I'll holler at you. Peace.